unbelievable crowd from the jump, the skull session, the walk, the beginning of the game, all the way to the end. There was a lot of people hung around at the end of that game, and we don't take that for granted. So really appreciate Buckeye Nation and all the people who were here today.
Okay, we'll open up over here on the left. Over on the right, Cam Teague Robinson from The Athletic.
Ryan, just on the corners, I know you were really depleted there.
Yeah.
Just your thoughts on the young guys who played, and then also kind of touch on the injuries of Denzel and Cam.
Yep. Again, we're not expecting those to be long-term things, but not having those guys in there and their experience, was a concern going into the game. But Jair and JK have been practicing. They practiced really hard all spring. They practiced all preseason. They've been out there, and we told them right before the game that everybody in the team believes in them, and we do. And they have no fear, and they went out there and played. And they did a really good job. I mean, I don't know what the film's going to show, but I know they competed, and I thought Tim Walton did a really good job getting them ready. And I'm proud of those guys to be able to win a conference game with them in there. Both really, I guess that's their first start each.
Over to the left, Lori Schmidt, Columbus Dispatch.
Coach, what's the key to getting two running backs going the way you have them going tonight?
Well, I think it's just the mentality of we know how long of a season this is going to be. And when you have two guys that you can go back and forth, who are unselfish, who understand what it means to be a team, that's the key. If it starts to become like, what are my carries, what are my touchdowns, what are my runs, then it doesn't work. But Travion and Mayan both have been excellent. Travion's energy before the game was off the chart. You could just feel it. I mean, I felt it in warm-ups. I felt it in the locker room. I felt it coming out of the locker room. And then he ran that way. He just ran hard. He ran physical. He ran with energy. And so did Mayan. Mayan ran hard. So I think we had something good going in that room. You saw Downey run at the end. I thought he was running well. But hats off to the offensive line and the tight ends. I thought they really moved the line of scrimmage today against a good defense.
Over to the right, Dylan Davis, Delaware Gazette.
When you talk about being balanced offensively, is that about as close to perfection as you can get as far as being balanced goes on offense?
Yeah. I mean, I thought that the balance was solid. And we're a no huddle team. In Wisconsin huddles a lot. So for us to kind of control the time of possession the way that we did, I think we were up 21 points at one point. I think we had a 6 or 7 minute drive. We kicked the field goal, but it turned into a 4-possession game, and we ate up a lot of clock in that drive. And I felt like that was a really good drive for us, even though maybe over the years, we expect to score touchdowns at a faster clip. But when you're in these types of games, you have to think that through. And I thought that was good, but I thought that the tempo and the mix of run and pass today is what we're looking for, yes.
Over to the left, Rob Aller, Columbus Dispatch.
Ryan, you got pretty animated after the defensive holding call. You were riding the official pretty good. How much of that is being upset in the moment, and how much is having the back of your defense wanting to support that?
Yeah, I usually don't talk about that stuff after the game, but I obviously didn't like what I saw, and I felt like that was a big play, but I wanted Jair to know that, like, I do have your back. Like, now if it was, egregious, okay, move on. But I want to defend him in that moment. This is a young kid out there on a big stage for the first time, and I hope he felt like his head coach was backing him up in that moment, because I think it mattered, and I believe what I was fighting for.
Over to the right, Austin Ward, Rivals 97.1 The Fan.
Right, I guess maybe it's a product of how high the standard is that CJ set here, but it didn't feel like he had his best stuff tonight. Is that now what he can do on an off night?
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was really good, in a lot of spots. That's a very good defense, and to throw 5 touchdowns. I mean, he was really good, and we had more out there. The protection broke down on 2 plays in particular that would have been huge plays. If we could have executed them better, but I thought the touchdown pass to Mecca was off the charts. I thought some of the other balls were really well done. It's my fault at the end of the half. I'm going to take that. We're up. I think it was 4 scores at that point with 45 seconds to go, or inside of our own, I guess 25. Should have just ran it 3 times, listened to the boos running off the field and moved on, but I didn't. I threw the ball, we got a pick, and the defense did a great job, sudden change, getting a stop right there. And so that's on me. And a couple of calls I could have done a better job with. I thought he played good. I thought his energy was good, and throw 5 touchdown passes against Wisconsin. That's a hell of a night.
Deep left, Doug Maurice, Cleveland.com.
Ryan, you guys came out, the first drive, had 3 chunk plays in the pass game, seemed like you had them spread out, and then ran it after that. It felt like you were able to make them defend sideline to sideline, then find running gaps, just beyond the balance, the way you guys did it. What do you think of it?
That's what we're looking for, what you just said, and that's easier said than done, that you want to be able to do that, and when they feel like you're throwing it, then you start running it. When they feel like maybe you're running it, you spread them out a little bit, and you try to get that going, and some nights it works, and you get into a rhythm. Some nights it doesn't. Tonight I felt like we did get in a rhythm.
Clay Hall, WSYX.
Ryan, you've preached toughness and fight all off season. To handle 2 physical teams like Notre Dame and Wisconsin, to remove all doubt in the first quarter, push them around, dictate the tempo. You think you've buried that?
I think we've shown what we can do. Now, whether we do it every week, it's on us. But I think you can see what this team's made of. I think we've shown that in the first 4 games, what we can do, what we're capable of. The big challenge, as we all know in college football, is you have to bring it every week, and that's the competitive standard we've been talking about. Every single week, you got to bring it. So, as good as this feels, and as much as we want to celebrate this, we can't spend too much time patting ourselves on the back after this thing, which is hard because it's one heck of a win for us. I mean, to play like we did tonight, that was a lot of work, and I'm very, very proud of our team. I'm proud of our players. Proud of the way the defense came in, some of the way the guys stepped up. There's a lot of good to go around in this game. But the tough thing is, you don't have too much time to talk about that. You got to be on to the next team, and but we'll try to enjoy this the best we can tonight and a little bit tomorrow.
Far left, Stephen Means, Cleveland.com.
One more about the running backs. You guys have tried in the past to have kind of 2 running backs share the load like that, moving to 2018 with J.K. and Mike, or Trey and Master in 2020. Why do you think with these 2 guys make it? Why is it working out so well?
I don't know. I think that. I think our offensive line is doing a good job. I think our tight ends are doing a good job. I think we have the right mix right now. And their approach has been excellent. But I think it's probably a combination of them and the offensive line and the tight ends and our running back. I mean, our wide receivers do a very, very good job. I mean, they're making plays down the field, but they're also blocking and being physical on the perimeter. And you can see the physical play is really plumbing today. I mean, you can see the shot Mecca took on that crossing route. I mean, that's tough play, and then he comes back and gets that touchdown pass. So I think you're seeing a physicality across the board. It isn't just up front. It's everybody.
Time for just a few more. Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Could you update Jackson Smith and Vigo status, and also the job that you did on Braille and Allen, at the end, human staff, what kind of job you think you did?
Yeah, I felt like our guys did a great job of gang tackling. There was a couple of things that maybe could have squirted out, but we had extra guys come to the party and get them down. You don't have to look to see how many yards after contact he gave. I felt like we did a decent job of getting him on the ground, but he's a big, strong, physical back, and you can even feel late in the game where, if you get into a close game, they're going to wear you down. And then he's like that. So overall, and we decided to take out some of our starters in that moment, and they hit that long run. So we got to figure out why that happened, but that was on me. Jim would rather have had his starters in there and didn't stop them right there, but I made that call. I want to keep our guys out of the game. We had a couple of guys who were backups who made that call, and it's what it is.
Over to the left, Patrick.
What with Jackson, we decided to kind of shut him down for this game, and we're going to hope we'll kind of get him going on Tuesday, and hopefully make some progress and get to see him play next week.
Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
Ryan, we saw what Travion could do last year, but when did you know Ryan could be that complementary, that number 2 back, however you want to call it, to Travion, you could have 2 guys?
I mean, last year we've seen it, but in the preseason is when I really started to see just an acceleration of his skill level, his practice habits, and his toughness. Just the way he was hitting the holes. I thought he had one of the best preseasons on offense, and now you're starting to see it. But Mayan, even you think back that freshman year, he had in that Clemson game, he shows up and makes some plays. So Mayan's been making plays since he's been here, and he's strong, he's powerful, he's built low to the ground. He's a change-up from Trey. They have different styles, but the great thing about them is they're pulling for each other, and they know that there's carries to go around, and their attitudes have been excellent, and now you see the production show up.
Final two questions for Coach over here to the right, Tim May. On3.com.
Yeah, Tim May, whatever. Do all of Kate Stover's catches go to the tight end category? Because obviously you split him out big time tonight. That was a big change. It didn't look like they were ready for that. Maybe I'm wrong, but what just led you to do that? And were you surprised how effective it was? And number two, were you a little worried about him when he went a little tea kettle there if you got hit?
Yeah, I was concerned. That was a tough hit. He's a tough player, and I'm proud of what Cade is becoming for this offense. He deserves everything he's getting. He's earning it all. He's a weapon for us in the pass game, as you can see. He's strong, he's powerful, but he's also getting after people in the run game. Does a good job of protection, and he can do that. You can see that he can split out. He can come back into the backfield. He can line up as a tight end. He gets big in some of the bigger personnels. And anytime you have somebody that can do that, that's what the NFL is looking for. Right? That's what we're all looking for, those versatile players that can do multiple things. And he's showing he can do that, and he's become a weapon for us.
And why tonight? What did Wisconsin show you that would make that so effective?
No, I mean, we're constantly trying to find ways. We tried to do it last week, just the whole run-pass conflict. Yeah.
And final question, Nathan Barrett, Cleveland.com.
You mentioned the other guys stepping up behind Jair and JK tonight. Where did Tanner McAllister fit into that, and kind of the way he was maybe setting his tone defensively?
Yeah, he missed last week, and it was good to have him back in there. And then he had the pick early on in the game, and that was a huge deal. And then we were able to capitalize and go 14-0. So his maturity, and he's played a lot of football. Not here, he's played a lot of football, so that helps. It's a little bit of confidence when he's out there, especially when you have some young guys back there. And I talked to Ronnie Hickman early in the game just about how you got to help with these guys. You got to be poised back there. You got to show them that calm that they need. And he was there for them. And I thought those guys really helped, especially the younger players.
Coach, thank you very much. All right, folks, we're going to bring in CJ Stroud at the front podium. The 4 tables in the back, if we could clear them off, make sure there's not any computers on those tables. We've got Kate Stover, Tommy Eichenberg, Tanner McAllister, and I think Mayan Williams is back there. You want to just hand it to anyone? Great, we'll open it up for CJ. We got Cameron T. Robinson, the Athletic. Over here to the right, CJ.
That first half, it looked like you were able to shoot the ball, whether it's Cade, Immaculate, Julian, Harvey. What's that like as a quarterback when you know, wherever you go, you have somebody who's going to be over and
Right. First and foremost, we love going crazy. I just not going to say we have schools, great university, but we great teammates. But like you said, I think in the first half we should be ball pretty well. Had some good momentum coming out quick. That's something we definitely want to do. I think we built those chemistry, that chemistry with Cade, Mecca, and Marvin. Really everybody who does the ball did a great job. But we built that chemistry all season, so to be able to do that and realizing adversity in there for the first half too, kind of slowing down a little bit. Just scored on that second last time, maybe even last drive. But at the end of the day, I think that we bounce back on that and really get some of that early on and accomplish play so we can kind of come back with adversity.
Over to the left, Pat Murphy, 24/7 Sports.
What's it like to have 2 running backs feel like you know how does
Right, both of them have been great. Not only football, practice as well. So we put a lot of time in that, but at the same time, y'all can tell that's all about really good. But it's also fun.
I mean, I always speak to y'all along and y'all best players on the team. We don't move if y'all move, or we're not great if y'all don't. So, I definitely think that they take that to heart every week. And this is a big time challenge. We're on that. It's constantly big physical. They say we can run the ball, whatever the case may be, whatever the case may be. And they were routines, and I feel like y'all are challenged today. So, my favorite grade on everything starts with y'all line and tight end. Even the receivers are good.
Over to the right, CJ Austin Ward, Rivals, 97.1 The Fan.
I could tell you a little bit more question. I might have missed my sarcasm. Your standard is so high that you miss a couple throws, and it seems like that's your lock. You lead when you think about the 5 touchdowns or a couple more maybe.
A little bit of both. I mean, working each play, and we working so hard, and you have to enjoy it and win at the same time. Like I said, I mean, you can always be better. I'm never going to play for the team. I never get to the perfect. So, that interception, obviously, I heard it today. That was my fault. Because I'm trying to anticipate it early on. Shot over before you go. Martin did a great job as well. I thought maybe go better. So, I just kind of got irritated after that. I got to get on the head. So, but I mean, I think that's a good thing. So you caught back. I'm never going to play person, never going to play in life, football or off the field. So I'm not really worried. Just go ahead and do it. I like mine. Yeah, I guess.
Okay, we'll go over to the deep left, CJ, Doug Maurice, Cleveland.com.
CJ, you guys came out the first drive and hit a couple big pass plays right off the bat and spread out. Felt like that maybe opened up the run then, you kind of spread out in formation, and then you ran on them. Can you just talk about that kind of balance, to spread out a defense, and then maybe they're in conflict of, they don't know whether to try to stop the run or the pass, and you guys do a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that we definitely, I think it goes back to the offseason. Dealing with being very balanced. Being able to run the ball, I think we're over like 250 in both aspects. So, I mean, when you do that, it's amazing. It makes my job easier as well. So, last year we relied on trying to pass so much, and we did a great job at it. And now this year it just makes it more complicated. I honestly got to be better with handling the ball off and being more disciplined. And not trying to be worried. So I think that we run the ball very well, but I got to be able to take one thing again. So I'm not saying I didn't do that. I can always be better. So I definitely think we keep both aspects rolling well, and I think we'll be one of the top.
Over here to the right, Tim Nate on Cleveland.com.
CJ, Keith Stover, who do, right? I mean, what you do, just split them out and stuff, that's some real good mismatches there, it looked like it's happening. When did he get brought to the program, I mean, here the last couple of weeks, especially tonight, I mean, they didn't seem to know how to handle it.
Yeah, Ted is definitely a Swiss Army knife. He can run, he can block, he can do really anything. So it's just amazing to see his work out there. He's one of the first people to be under his name when I first got to school. So he's a great person. He's a better person than he's a football player. So I mean, I'm really proud of him. And I owed him for last week. I missed one today. Kind of irritating, but I mean, he got 2. So we're trying to be better. He actually blamed himself on that. I would take him away. So I think that we can always be better. I think Cade is going to continue to be great. I'm super excited for him.
I've got time for a couple more for CJ over here to the left, Bill Bender, The Sporting News.
CJ, I think many of your first 15 plays in the row, how much of that was script or how much was execution? When you guys consider that, like, in general,
Right. I definitely think it's a mixture of everything. It starts with practice. We practice so hard, Tuesday and Wednesday. We can put 2 great days in. I think that's definitely where it starts. But we mix everything. Because they did a great job with Lincoln, with Wilson. And then, I mean, like, it's all about race too. So, I mean, everybody was yelling. They were on all black games. I think my job was just lead off and tell we should everybody comment on the team and try to have fun. So I definitely think we did that. And we continue to build so we can keep it running and passing so clean. I think definitely play on the first game.
And final question, right here, front row, Stephen East, Cleveland.
And I don't really think that's my place to judge. Of course, I mean, I'm gonna go listen to the coaches, Coach Dave, Coach Dennis, Coach Fish, like to say, Coach Pete, see what their feedback is. I mean, I think it's something that we do great at Ohio State, really bad. I mean, after I see the practice, it's like, it is what it is. So, whenever I play, we're going to, like I said, early on in the season, I don't think we're improved. And I think the numbers show, I mean, the numbers prove for themselves. I think that, but it's not to be, it's a combination of line, receivers, especially defense. A little bit of everything, it's hard work, not paying off. So, I mean, people think playing good at school, they know who they are anyway. So, I mean, I'm blessed to drive in position.
CJ, thank you very much. Folks, we're gonna bring Donovan Jackson up to the main podium now. And we will open up with questions. Over here to the left, out late, raise Cleveland.com.
How much do you feel like you guys moved the line of scrimmage in the run game, pushing that back?
Well, we knew we had to, and during the week of preparation, we had to really think about how tough we wanted to be. You know, because offensive line didn't have any tough guys. So coming into the game, we knew we had some matchups we can take advantage of. And so all 5 guys throughout, all 11 guys in the offense were clicking on all cylinders in the run game. But we knew there's a lot of stuff to improve on. You know, we had some success, but a lot of stuff to improve.
Over here to the right, Phil Landis, Rivals.
I feel like that just starts to hold some momentum as an offensive line this summer. From last week against this week, continue knocking that back, so it's kind of reestablishing that for you guys. Building on top of it.
Right, you know, it just goes back to what they said, it's like keep teaching you know, we had some success early on, but we got to keep on going, we got to keep stamina. But we had some really success going on, so there's a lot of stuff in that line, so I'm looking forward to being
Over to the left, we'll reach Mr. Landis dispatch.
You mentioned tonight that the energy before the game was something special that you do, especially compared to, was there something that you saw in the locker room before the game? What you were going to be a good defense?
I'll say, especially in training station, he's something to the leadership role. So he wants to get hurt, he's a coming off the line, like we can dictate this game, like we can get after it. So having that voice of your running back is just something that I got to all the feet of me. Just had to really push us to, I would say, go across the line.
Over to the right, Bill Rabinowitz, Columbus Dispatch.
Well, it's a very gratifying feeling to be, but you know, doing it with your brothers is the most gratifying thing. You know, I never walked one back, but all 5 of us it'll be a good time success.
I already asked. Don, you guys scored touchdowns on all 6 first half drives last week. You scored touchdowns on the first 4 drives tonight. Is it tiring scoring that many touchdowns in the first half?
It's not tiring at all, man. It just means we're going in the right direction. We have success on the field, but like I said, there's a lot of stuff to clean up on. You know, luckily we have a talented basket, a talented quarterback, and that makes us right. But that's also why we didn't always bring the growth.
I was asking you a question.
Okay, any more for Donovan? Donovan, thank you very much. Folks in the back, we can start to wrap up, please. And there are Wexner Medical Center chillers, cool cups in those boxes there. Please, everyone, feel free to take one or two.
Is that it, Jerry?
That's it for here. Yes, remaining guys, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks.
Yeah.